the heart of Saudi Arabia, nestled within a crowded building teeming with dreams and desperation, there was Room 7. This wasn't just any room. It was the home of Nasir and Hunais. They weren't just roommates. They were brothers forged in the shared experience of being far from home. Everyone knew them as the best friends of Room 7. Their bond was legendary. They shared everything, from the last piece of kubs to the late-night calls home. Their laughter echoed through the narrow hallways, a testament to a friendship that seemed strong enough to withstand anything the world threw at them. They were a team, a single unit, navigating the hustle of a foreign land, always having each other's back. Their days were a routine of hard work and simple joys. They would wake up before the sun, share a quick breakfast, and head out to their respective construction jobs. The labor was grueling, the sun unforgiving, but they found solace in their shared struggle. At night, they would return to Room 7, exhausted but together. They would talk for hours about their families, their hopes for the future, and the day they would finally return home with enough savings to build a better life. Their friendship was the anchor in the stormy sea of their expatriate lives, a constant source of strength and comfort that made the distance from home feel a little less vast. Nasir was the dreamer, his mind often wandering back to the lush green landscapes of his village. Hunais was the pragmatist, his focus squarely on the here and now, on earning the next rial. This difference was the very thing that made their friendship work so well. Nasir's dreams gave them hope, while Hunais's practicality kept them grounded. They were two sides of the same coin, perfectly balanced. When Nasir felt homesick, Hunais would crack a joke to lift his spirits. When Hunais worried about their finances, Nasir would remind him of the bigger picture, of the dreams they were working towards. It was a beautiful, symbiotic relationship. Their small room was a sanctuary for others as well. Friends from neighboring rooms would often gather there, drawn by the warmth and camaraderie. Nasir and Hunais were the social hub of their floor, their room a place where stories were shared and worries were momentarily forgotten. They were the glue that held their small community of workers together. No one could have predicted that this seemingly unbreakable bond, this fortress of friendship built on a foundation of mutual respect and shared dreams, was about to face its greatest and most devastating test, a test that would begin with a simple story about a tree. One evening, as the group was gathered in Room 7, Nasir's eyes lit up with a familiar dreamy sparkle. He decided to share a secret, a piece of his soul he had kept guarded. Back home, he began, his voice filled with passion. My family has a tree. It's not just any tree, it's an agar wood tree, an oud tree. One day, that tree will be worth a fortune. It will make us rich. He spoke with such conviction, painting a vivid picture of the fragrant, precious wood. He expected awe, maybe even a little envy. Instead, the room fell silent for a moment before Hunais, his best friend, let out a loud, dismissive laugh. Hunais's laughter cut through the air like a knife. A magic money tree? Nasir, are you serious? He mocked, turning to the others. My friend here thinks he's going to become a millionaire from a piece of wood in his backyard. The other men in the room, taking their cue from Hunais, joined in the laughter. Nasir's face fell. The warmth drained from his body, replaced by a cold, stinging shame. It wasn't just the teasing, it was who it came from. His best friend, his brother, had not just dismissed his dream, he had publicly humiliated him, turning his most cherished hope into a punchline for everyone to enjoy. The days that followed were heavy with unspoken tension. Nasir, desperate to regain his dignity, tried to prove his story. He spent his precious phone credit calling relatives back home, trying to get them to send some kind of proof. A photo, a small piece of the wood, anything. But his family was poor and didn't have easy access to such things. His frantic attempts only made him look more foolish in the eyes of his roommates. Each failed effort was another victory for Hunais's cynicism, and the distance between the two friends grew wider with every passing day. The easy laughter that once filled Room 7 was gone, replaced by a thick, uncomfortable silence. While Nasir became consumed by his quest for validation, Hunais was moving forward. He saved his money diligently, and one day, he proudly drove up in a brand new, gleaming white Toyota Yaris. He had a plan. He was going to work as a taxi driver in his off hours, doubling his income. He was the man of action. Meanwhile, Nasir started slipping. He would often skip work, lost in daydreams about his tree, the rich scent of oud, and the fortune it promised. He was clinging to his dream as a shield against the pain of his friend's betrayal, even as it cost him his daily wages. One day, Nasir announced he was going home for a month. Everyone assumed he was defeated, returning with his tail between his legs. Hunais gave him a knowing, almost pitying look, as if to say, "I told you so." Nasir left without much fanfare, the bond between the two friends now just a ghost of what it once was. But when Nasir returned a month later, he wasn't alone in spirit. He walked back into room 7 with a quiet confidence and announced, "I am married." The room erupted in surprise. He had gone home, not in defeat, but to start a new chapter in his life. This unexpected move left Hunais and the others speechless. This newfound maturity in Nasir seemed to irritate Hunais. The dynamic had shifted, and the old power balance was gone. The tension that had been simmering for months finally reached its boiling point over something incredibly trivial: a slipper. One evening, Hunais couldn't find his slipper and immediately accused Nasir of misplacing it. It wasn't about the slipper, of course. It was about pride, resentment, and the festering wound of their broken friendship. The accusation ignited a furious argument. Harsh words were exchanged. Words that had been held back for too long. Words that could never be taken back. The fight escalated quickly, their voices echoing through the building. All the pent-up frustration and hurt came pouring out. Hunais, in a fit of rage, pointed a trembling finger at the door. "I can't live with a lazy dreamer anymore," he yelled, his face red with anger. "You do nothing but talk about your stupid tree while I work day and night. I want you out. Find another room." The finality in his voice was absolute. Nasir stared at his friend, the man he once called a brother, and saw a stranger. There was no apology, no hesitation, just cold, hard rejection. The bond of room 7 was officially, irrevocably shattered. With a heavy heart, Nasir packed his few belongings. There were no goodbyes, no handshakes, just the quiet, mournful sound of a zipper closing on a worn-out bag. He walked out of room 7 for the last time, leaving behind years of memories and a friendship that had defined his life in Saudi Arabia. He didn't look for another room in the building. He didn't look for another job in the city. He bought a one-way ticket home. As the plane took off, he didn't look back. He was leaving behind the world of concrete and sarcasm and flying towards his destiny, which was rooted in the soil of his homeland. Back in his village, Nasir dedicated himself completely to his future. He didn't see just a tree, he saw a legacy. He poured all his energy, his savings, and his faith into caring for that single agar wood tree. He learned the intricate art of oud extraction, a process requiring patience and expertise. He nurtured the tree as if it were his own child, protecting it from harm and waiting for the perfect moment. His family and fellow villagers watched with skepticism, whispering about the boy who had returned from Saudi Arabia with nothing but a crazy dream. But Nasir ignored them, his focus unwavering. He was no longer trying to prove anything to others, he was proving it to himself. Years passed. The tree matured, and the precious resinous heartwood, the oud, was finally ready. The harvest was more successful than even Nasir had dared to dream. The quality of the oud was exceptional, dark and intensely fragrant. It attracted buyers from all over the world, traders from the Middle East and luxury perfume houses from Europe. What started with one tree grew into a thriving business. Nasir established his own plantations, his own processing facilities, and his brand became synonymous with the world's finest oud. The boy from room 7, the dreamer with the magic money tree, had become a billionaire. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away in Saudi Arabia, life for Hunais had remained largely unchanged. He was still driving his taxi, the same Yaris, now older and worn. He still lived in a shared room, though not room 7. He worked long, hard hours, navigating the bustling city streets, forever chasing the next fare. He remained unmarried, his life a repeating cycle of work and sleep, with little to show for his years of pragmatic toil. Sometimes late at night, he would hear whispers among the other workers about a man from their country who had become an oud tycoon, a billionaire named Nasir. He would dismiss it as just another story. The tale of Nasir and Hunais became a quiet lesson whispered among the expatriate communities. It is a story about the fragility of friendship and the immense power of self-belief. It teaches us that mocking someone's dream doesn't extinguish it. Sometimes it fuels it with a fire that can change the world. Nasir's journey proves that a dream, no matter how humble or strange it may seem to others, can grow into a magnificent reality if it is nurtured with passion and perseverance. Life has a funny way of rewarding faith, and sometimes the greatest treasure is not found in a paycheck, but in the unwavering belief in a single precious tree.